Hi guys, I'm Nika. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. Today I am finally going to sit down and share my answers for the mid-year book freakout tag with you and give you a basic update about my reading so far this year. So watch until the very end and thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So I have all my details down here, that's why I'll be looking downwards a bit as I film this video. But right, how we're gonna do this is basically it's going to be me answering all the questions. I have collected all of these questions from over the internet, so I'm just gonna dive right in and just share my answers as I know them. And yeah, so how is your reading going so far this year? And I think my reading has been going great. I have read over 80 books already by the end of June, so I think I will definitely be somewhere above the 150 mark this year. But even after that, I think my reading this year has been really substantial compared to the number game that I might have been playing previously, because this time I really am happy with all the books that I'm reading, so that's great. I am reading for my own sake, for my fun sake, for reading sake, and not just for the number game, so that's a wonderful change. I also do read a lot of romance. If you will see my Goodreads, you'll know, and that is because romance is a genre that acts as a palate cleanser for me. Generally, no matter whatever book I'm reading, I really like reading a romance book every now and then to cleanse my palate, so to speak. So yeah, that's my reading this year. It's going really great. I'm loving all the books that I've been reading, and I hope this continues. What is the best book you have read so far this year? And for that, I have to say that I cannot really choose between so many, but I think I really enjoyed reading Butter, The Divine Sword, and Vita Nostra. Now all of these books I read in the first half of the year, but that is somewhere between January to June. Butter is by Asako Yuzuki. It was originally written in Japanese and translated into the English by Polly Barton. Really enjoyed it. It's about self-discovery, about food, gastronomic delights, female friendship, self-discovery like I just said, and much more. Fat shaming, beauty standards of Japan today, so on. It's really wonderful. Then I also read Vita Nostra by Sergei and Marina Diachenko. It is a book in which we follow this girl called Alexandra, or Sasha, and how she receives education in this kind of magical school. It's a magical school, it's a campus novel, and it's really interesting. We see her struggling and reading so much, and I love any book that shows that students that the quintessential students struggle. So that book was really great for me. And I also read The Divine Sword by Rita Chaudhary. It was originally written in Assamese and translated into the English by Rita Borbora, and I really loved it. It is a historical novel, fictionalized in some aspects, of course, based on Assam, and I really loved it. It is a really semi-minor classic when it comes to Assamese literature, so I'm glad that I finally got to read that book. So yeah, those are my 3 picks for this answer. Now I'm gonna tell you from now only that I have picked multiple books sometimes, and sometimes I have not chosen an answer because I don't want to point down to one book to answer that. So moving on, what is the best sequel you have read so far this year? And for this, I have to say that I really enjoyed reading Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, which is book 2 in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, in which we follow this girl called Pip as she starts to kind of solve a mystery that has plagued her small town for years. This is book 2. We get to see more mysteries, disappearances, and everything, and it's very interesting. Really loved it. I am going to pick up book 3 very soon. Next question, a new release that you haven't read but want to. So for this, I have to go with House of Flame and Shadow, which is by Sarah J Maas. It's book 3 in the, oh my god, in the Crescent City series, and I really like that series. It's urban fantasy, and like I said, it's urban fantasy, meaning it's set in a kind of modern world, but there's a lot of fantastical elements like mermaids, angels, and all of that. There's romance, there's spice, a lot of spice, there's a lot of strategizing, world building, everything. It's really great. It's a big book, it's this thick, so I'm really scared to read it as well, but I will definitely be picking up very, very soon. And yeah, that is one book that has been released this year, but I have not yet picked it up, although I really want to. I just have been very intimidated. Moving on, most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and for me this book is A Sunny Place for Shady People by Mariana Enriquez. Now, I absolutely love Mariana Enriquez's short stories. I've read The Dangers of Smoking Bed, Things We Lost in the Fire, both of which were amazing. And I also enjoyed reading this book called Our Share of Night. I'm not sure if you can see it, it's right there at the bottom. It's a blue book. So I really enjoyed her writing. It's very weird, it's very gory, it has a lot of elements from Argentina's history, but it's written in a very, she employs magical realism to write it, which lends it a fantastical, gory, weird vibe, which I absolutely love and I am ready to die for. So I'm really excited for that book. Then biggest disappointment of 2024, for me it is surprisingly Night Sky with Exit Wounds by Ocean Vuong, which is a poetry book. Now, I have previously read Ocean Vuong when I read On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, which I think I really enjoyed back when I first read it. It's time for a reread of that book too. But you know, yeah, I really enjoyed the book, so I thought that maybe I will give Ocean Vuong's poetry a try, and that's why I picked up Night Sky with Exit Wounds. I ended up rating it 1 star because I did not enjoy it at all. Now, I understand that today in contemporary poetry we do not follow any kind of rhythm or meter when it comes to writing poetry. We just use haphazard words. There is no rhyme to speak, so to speak. But that does not mean that you will use any random words, because for me that book felt like it, that poetry collection felt like it, as if you are stringing along really wildly different words and just putting them together for the sake of contemporarizing the poetry, which I did not enjoy. So that was surprisingly a very, very sad disappointment for me this year. Then next question 7, biggest surprise of 2024, and for me this is a repeat answer. It is The Divine Sword by Rita Chaudhary. I'll tell you why. I'm not a person who reads and enjoys a lot of historical fiction, so this book was a historical fiction, and sometimes I feel like, I don't know how to say this, but sometimes reading something about some other place is easy, but when it comes to picking books from your own place, your own history, based on your own history or geography, it sometimes is difficult. There is a sort of apprehension, not that it might not be great, but I don't know why there is always a sense of apprehension to pick it up, and I face the same. Moreover, for me, the fact that it was a historical fiction novel, a genre that I don't really enjoy a lot or read a lot even, that was a great fear, but I ended up really loving it, and that was the biggest surprise of all this year. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that book to you. Then we have favorite new author to you debut. Unfortunately, I'm going to skip this question because I am generally a person who picks up book based on the synopsis. So for me, books are very random. I don't follow a particular author and read all their works, except if it's like Sarah J Maas, but Sarah J Maas is not new for me, and you guys know that too, so I'm not going to give her name as an answer, but I'll rather, you know, pass on this answer. Then newest fictional crush. Now I want to kind of change this a bit. This is not really a crush, but more so a sort of admiration, and the character, I'm about to say figure, the character that I have started to really admire recently is Pip from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I really love her resourcefulness, her resoluteness, and so on. She is very much like me as well, in the fact that she sometimes gets tunnel vision when it comes to finding out the answer and so on, and it can sometimes harm her chances, her relationships with her friends and family. But I really admire her, so that's my answer for my newest fictional admirable person. Kind of crush, but a platonic crush. So yeah, Pip for me. Then book that made you cry. Now I'm really sorry that I'm repeating the answer, but a book that made me cry was definitely The Divine Sword. Again, I really cried a bit in the beginning, in the middle, I think, not in the middle, more like the third last third of the book, when revelations were made about family, about issues that the people had to go through, sad issues, dilemmas, decisions they had to take, and so on. So that was really sad for me. And I did cry a bit. So that book was that. Then a book that made you happy. For me, this is What You Are Looking For is in the library, and I think it's by Michiko Ayoma. It's so beautiful, it's so peaceful. It really gave me Little Forest vibes, which is a movie and also series that you should definitely watch, Little Forest. So in this book, we basically get to know this librarian who recommends a personalized book to everyone. She gives personalized recommendations, and those books really change the characters' lives, and we see in what ways. So it's not very superficial, it rather goes down into the different layers of the characters and their lives as well, respective lives, which I really enjoyed. So this book was really beautiful, and it really made me happy. So it is a book that I would definitely recommend you as well. Now the next question, I'm gonna skip over a couple because I don't have answers for them, but the next question is a book or books you want to read by the end of this year. And believe me, I have so many. I want to read Trick Mirror by, I forgot the author's name, but I really want to read this. It's non-fiction and it's a collection of essays. Really high hopes for that one. I also want to read The Lonely City by Olivia Lang. Again, it's about her life as a alone, her life alone in a new city and exploring the city through art. So that's something I want to read. I also want to read Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I have heard so much about this book. I actually recommended this book to a friend who ended up loving it, but coincidentally I haven't read it. So I really want to read that book as well. And then what else? I also want to read What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. And there are so many, but these are the ones that come to my head at the from the top. So yeah, these are all the books I want to read by the end of 2024. It's not an exhaustive list by any chance. There are tons more that I just can't remember at this instance. So your favorite movie to series adaptation, book to movie or series adaptation, and for me that definitely has to be My Lady Jane. Now actually I haven't finished watching the series My Lady Jane. I think I have got 2 episodes left and I am loving it so far. Sometimes it drags, but overall I really like the way it has been adapted. It's really interesting, so I have high hopes for that one. Another show that I cannot yet say is a favorite because I haven't watched it. It's a show I want to watch. It is the series adaptation of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Really want to read that, watch that. So you can definitely let me know what you thought about it if you've watched the book. So yeah, those are the 2 books that I have started watching and loved and I want to watch. These are my customized answers for the questions, really. So yeah, that's it for my mid-year book freakout tag. It's a very impromptu one, very unplanned one, but I think sometimes the unplanned videos are the best, and sometimes with these kinds of tags I think it's better to just wing it so that you can give honest answers, I think. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Take care, peace out, bye.